Hello, I'm Marta Bobillo, and we're representing here A. Philip Randolph Institute, Group of Lansing, Chapter Lansing. Also, we have Cesar Chavez, but in this corner here, we have the Afro-Caribbean and our customs through the area. All the Caribbean islands pretty much do the same customs for our ancestors. A lot of them are based on the Santeria roots that came from Africa to us from the slaves. This is Jaden, one of our youth from APRI that had passed away tragically, but he was always very involved in getting out the vote and helping with LACLA and APRI and all our groups. This is A. Philip Randolph. He's the one that started the APRI group. He's an activist to get out the vote and civil rights. Also, we have in here a lot of the books of the culture and candles and our bread. We are calling our ancestors and representing them in all the ways that our cultures do it. With Cesar Chavez, we go to the roots of the native in Mexico and in the United States. He was the farm workers, founded the union for the farm workers, and very involved through our culture, trying to help our people. In the United States was a struggle. Here we have La Virgen de Guadalupe, because he was a cursillista and he always had the Virgin with him. He was a devoted Catholic. Here is some veterans. Maria Enrique's dad and her brother. Here are some of the Mexican beans and chiles and what the culture have. Also Diego Rivera's mural, because we all identify with labor and unions.
My name is Maria Luz Salas Arambula, and I am so pleased that I was given the opportunity to display this ofrenda in memory of my mom, whom I lost on July 9th of this year. And it represents not only what she liked, but also what her family liked, and with her 60 plus years with my dad and the life with my dad. And my mom was a beautiful woman inside out. She loved to be with family and friends, and she was a woman of faith. She believed in the Virgen of Guadalupe, and she always had optimism about everyone and everything. And this is my brother who we lost to diabetes, and this is my tia who lived with us, and she was 9 years old because my grandma died, and she also lost the fight to diabetes. And this is my brother here who lost his life to COVID in 2019. He was my oldest brother. And this is my sister that lost her life due to a car accident. And again, that's my brother that died of diabetes as a young adult. And this is loteria, which is something that's very popular among our culture. And it has La Dama, so I put a picture of my mom there in La Dama. And this is my grandma, my maternal grandma, my mom's mom, my abuelita, who we loved and would make us pastries and everything. And I put here some lotion because my mom would always use all kinds of lotion and would get in my case because I had dry skin and wouldn't do like she did. I have dry skin. And Dia de los Muertos, this is my mom, my dad, my mom, and this is pictures of my dad, and this is a gift that from Alita Briones they gave me in memory of my mom. She made herself. And these are mints in here. My mom had a sweet tooth, and my mom loved shopping for shoes. So that is my mom with all the shoes, which I did buy every single pair for her. And this is a gift that was given when I lost my mom, which meant so much to me. And this rosary my son brought for me from the Vatican, and so it's only proper. My mom loved perfumes, so that's why I have perfume here. She loved perfume and always would make me sneeze when she wore it, but it was okay. And again, her faith about Our Lady of Guadalupe was something that was great. And this is a picture of my mom and me, and the frame is broken. When I was putting the picture in, it broke. And so I feel so broken, but one day Mamita will be together again. So that's my mom and me. And then I put here baby Jesus and Joseph and Mary, because that's so part of our culture. And then a little quinceañera doll, that's just part of our culture. And then hand sanitizer. My mom was a very organized, clean person, and I decorated everything with purple because that was her favorite color, purple. And this is Jamaica, a drink that she loved. I made it last night to bring here, pure Jamaica. Every now and then she would like a little shot of tequila, which I brought the tequila. And that's all I have to say. There's one thing I wanted to mention that I overlooked. This is a tradition from Guatemala, but it's also very popular in Mexico. These are little dolls, and these little dolls, we're supposed to pray to them before we go to bed at night, and then in the morning our worries will be gone. So it's a tradition from Guatemala that I have family members that married into Guatemala family, and that's where I learned that. I love it. And then this is, oh my God, my mom was right about so many things, and I try to remember everything my mom taught me and advised me to do at this point.
My name is Lorenzo Lopez. This ofrenda for the Day of the Dead, Día de los Muertos, is dedicated to my sister who passed away barely a year ago, my mother, and my father. All three of these people were very instrumental in me permitting me, helping me, and financing me to be able to do all the beautiful things that I do now. Music and dance has been a big part of my family. My mother and father loved music, and my sister, of course, became an ambassador of Mexican Latino culture for the city of Lansing and for the state of Michigan. She loved music, she loved dancing, she loved art, she made jewelry, she was a graphic artist, she was an educator, a grant writer, and reviewed grants for the state of Michigan as well. So as you can see, I've got the pan de muerto, bread of the dead. I also have the fideo, which my sister loved, which are the noodles. And my sister loved the beans that I have over there, because she loved the way that I made the beans when she would come over. So this is a reflection of her and my family and my mother and father together. That's why I wanted to have an ofrenda this year. And you can see my sister's Spanish dance shoes and her Spanish castanets, because she wanted to study flamenco, and she actually went all the way to Madrid to study Spanish, and then went Spanish dance flamenco. And then when she was done with that, she came to meet me in Mexico City, where I was studying with the Ballet Folklorico de Amalia Hernandez. So we have a long tradition in our family of music, of art, politics, social and civic activity.
My name is Paloma, and my altar is for my father, Fernando Sanchez. This picture was, when I was younger, he would always take me to Mackinac Island, and when I got older, I took him to Mackinac Island, and a butterfly landed on his hand, the butterfly house. So I just thought this was so beautiful, because the monarchs are a symbol of, spirits. This was a birthday party we took him to at the Lugnut Stadium. He was smiling. He had a great smile. Some of his favorite food, fideo. This was at my niece's wedding. He wasn't in it, but he insisted on renting a tuxedo and looking amazing. He was a barber, and this was his barber shop. My brother is now a barber and has named his shop after my father's. He loved wearing hats. Anybody knew him, he was a sharp dresser, great hats. These angels and plants you see on the bottom are from his funeral, gifts that people gave me for my garden. The main picture was from my sister's wedding. Of course, I tried to incorporate the marigolds, the butterflies, the candles, the pan de muerto. He loved Mexican food, and that's what that picture is of. Beans, he had to have beans at every meal, every single meal. Oh, and he loved his sweets. He loved his sweets, his candies. I would run into him at the store and he'd have a big Snickers and he'd tell me, "Don't tell your mom." And this last one, my sister made that shirt for him. "Dad, you're the poo." Yeah, and I just wanted to make it beautiful and special for him because we loved him.
Hello, my name is Maria Starr Bancor. I am the chapter president of Labor Council for Latin American Advancement of Greater Lansing Area. Many people know us as Greater Lansing Area LACLA chapter, and we are paying homage this year to our union brothers and sisters who have passed on. They worked diligently for civil rights, for human rights, education. So in this nice altar, we are recognizing Sylvia Rivera. She was the first transvestite and who actually credited to helping at the T on the LGBTQ. And she worked extremely hard, and she has this new organization. It's called Street Transgender Action Revolutionary. And what it is that people that were in that lifestyle that are recognizing themselves who they are, were always being mistreated and not being loved. And families were kicking them out or disowning them. So she grew up in the streets at the age of 16 when she came out and told her family, and they didn't want no part of her. So she knows that, this is human rights still. People need to be educated. So she worked hard. John Sweeney is the first national president of AFL-CIO. He believes in all cultures, and he respected all ethnic backgrounds and felt that everybody should know about what the work has been done to fight for civil rights and human rights. Hank Lacayo, his name is Henry Lacayo, was the first co-founder of National Labor Council for Latin American Advancement of over 80 million skilled union workers, and he feels that we needed a voice. The Latino community needed a voice. So him and another co-founder did that. There were more. Jessica Govea Thorburn. She is one of the persons that fought to have equality and justice. She also had the United Farm Workers at the age of 19. She worked with them, so she did a lot with the laborers and worked with Cesar Chavez. Luisa Moreno. Luisa Moreno was a Guatemalan lady that she was leading strikes that wanted to have people have wages, their rights. So she had started not a fundraiser, but a rally to educate people about working and be respected. We got the Friends Forever UAW, Doug Fraser and Walter Ruther. They were the heart, you could say, of union labor, educating the members, and continue to be strong to make sure we have health care benefits and health and safety in our workplace. Michael Calderon is a United food commercial worker, and he was an executive board member of National LACLA, and he worked extremely hard making sure that people who weren't educated about union, he helped them out and educated them and let them know what a union's all about. They're our family. Maria Portolatin is the other co-founder of National LACLA. She devoted her life to LACLA. She making sure that people understand. She was a teacher. She made sure that the United Federation of Teachers were involved, and she educated them. And she was also very important in that area in New York. And then our final one is Cesar A. Chavez Day. As we know, Cesar Chavez worked extremely hard for the farm workers to receive the union benefits and be respected. And so he fought really hard for our migrant workers to be respected and serve with dignity. And our final one, we just lost him, is Richard Louis Trumka. He was the president of AFL-CIO from 2007, I believe, to 2021. He was an attorney. He organized labor. He worked really close with the presidential administration. And he was our main guy that always supported the Latino community.
Hi, my name is Carrington Kelsey. I'm the Community Outreach Liaison here at One Love Global, where we focus on creating equity and inclusion for Black and Brown children. Specifically, our last focus for the 2021 chapter was to focus on how to get reparations and focus on decolonization work. Now we're focusing on no more Black death in 2022. How do we create programming to combat gun violence here in Lansing and systemic violence against Black and Brown people? Today I'm here to tell you about our ofrenda/altar. So this is a cross between an ofrenda and an African ancestral altar. In the African ancestral altar, you usually place things that are guided from the ancestors, things that we love that came from our ancestors. So right now I have the African mud cloth that came from Mali, West Africa. I'm half Malian, so I really love to see these patterns. These are patterns that people have made from hand from centuries. We also have a Mexican fan from my mother-in-law, and we also have a memorial to Black lives who have died to gun violence and over-policing. So these are people who have died due to racism, due to institutionalized racism, and how it affects Black people specifically. These are all lives that we see as precious, as holy, and set apart. But today I decided to actually bring together two different cultures. I'm actually married to a Mexican woman, and one thing we're about is instilling culture into our relationship and understanding that we come from two different backgrounds, so we have a couple misunderstandings that we need to work on some things. So right now with the mud cloth and also the Mexican mat right there, we actually sewed that together for our wedding, and we had both our parents pray with us over that. Also, the broom represents marriage. So this broom specifically is the broom that me and my wife jumped. This is one of the only ways that Black slaves could actually show that they were married, by jumping the broom. Now it's seen as a ceremonial union thing, so you jump the broom and you keep it with you. Originally, it's meant to sweep the path clear so God can come through and bless you with new blessings. All right. We also have a sugar skull. The sugar skull was actually made in San Antonio. I think that my grandmother-in-law made this. She actually grew up in the area of Texas that became America. It was originally Mexico, so it's like they don't know whether they identify with being Mexican or American. They say they're like Tex-Mex or something like that, which is really interesting to see. We also have spirits, which you might see on some ancestral altars. This is something from hoodoo and voodoo ideas of African spirituality, African American spirituality, spirits that connect people to their ancestors. Sometimes there's usually 100% vodka, but I just use the Crown Royal bag because I didn't have a vodka bag. Sometimes it's great to actually substitute things. So like this is Florida water. Florida water was used as a way to cleanse things. I actually got this from Oracle Apothecary, which is a Black lady-owned apothecary here in Lansing. This one is actually meant to cleanse things like sage. So you anoint your house, you anoint your body with it, you spray yourself with it, and you are cleansed. Right here we have a mix of things that I think are really cool. So these beads are from Uganda. The cowrie shells are actually amazing because actually they were used as a currency at one point in Africa. Frankincense are for good luck from the ancestors and guidance. And I think the bowl itself is from Senegambia. So I like to put a lot of things that remind me of Africa and my time spent there. So this is African Epsom salt. It's really good for cleansing and like clearing rashes and like swelling and stuff. And I like being connected through the African movement, the Pan-African movement, basically saying that we are all connected through our culture and our heritage, Ubuntu and Negritude. Other than that, we also have other trinkets, which this one came from Tex-Mex, which is handmade, which is amazing. I love it. Actually, my mother-in-law is dressing up as Frida Kahlo today. And then we have books for guidance. So my favorite writer is Lansing Hughes from the Harlem Renaissance. I look to his writing for guidance on how to love self, how to love community a lot. He has one poem called Harlem that I love, and he just explains his neighborhood and how much he loves his blackness. And all this is across between two different cultures that we thought were really needed to come together on Día de los Muertos and Ancestors Day, where we celebrate our ancestors and our heritage together.
My name is Marisol Garcia. I'm the lead organizer for Voces de la Comunidad. Our altar here is a traditional altar from Mexico, and our women's group put this together. Three of the tiers that it's important to highlight is that they represent the heaven, earth, and the afterlife. So that is the purpose of the tiers. We have photos of loved ones. We have some of the things that they cherished or liked in life. The pan de muerto is a must-have on any altar. We have some tamales. We have, of course, the cempasuchil represents. That is what attracts our loved ones and guides them, the scent of the cempasuchil. ¿Quieres decir algo de la cruz, Leticia? Or
Okay. La cruz de ceniza representa, sirve para que las almas puedan purificar su alma y quitarse sus culpas. Los 4 cirios en cada extremo de la cruz significan los 4 puntos cardinales para que el difunto se guíe en el camino. El acerrín representa la tierra. Como podrán ver, el altar tiene los 4 elementos: tierra, agua, fuego y aire. El papel picado representa el aire. Todos los altares en diferentes comunidades pueden tener diferentes material, pero en todos lo mismo es la flor de cempasúchil, que es la flor del muerto. El espejo en el altar sirve para que el difunto, cuando llegue al altar, se vea y sepa que es un difunto y no se confunda y se quiera quedar en la tierra de los vivos.
I'm Lorenzo Lopez, and I put together a mini-ofrenda dedicated to the mother, brother, and sister of Carmen Benavides. Her mother's name is Maria Salas Aguayo, and her father, Jose Aguayo Mora. And they were born in Chihuahua, and in 1899 was Mr. Aguayo born in Parral, Chihuahua. And her mother, Maria Salas Aguayo, born in 1899 in a little village called San Jose de los Cerritos outside of Saltillo, Coahuila. So this is dedicated to them. And I want you to know that Carmen was born in San Antonio, Texas, because their parents were crossing the borders from Mexico to the United States at least 3 or 4 times, back and forth, and then they left when she was born in San Antonio. Interestingly enough, she did not speak English until she came to Michigan, where she actually learned English. This is Carmen Benavides. And eventually her mother lived with her as she was getting older. But this is an important one for her so that she can have remembrances of her family who have passed a long time ago, and to maintain the heritage of her ancestors from Mexico to the United States.
My name is Diana Herrera, and the ofrenda that we have set up here is for my husband, Joe Herrera, which is a member, was the original member of the corporation. And we have his little guitar here. He did have a lot of guitars, but this one is the one I brought. And he had an award here. It says Joe Jaws Herrera, Lifetime Achievement. It was presented to him in Ohio. And this one right here is one that it was presented to them in Detroit when we had the Midwest Tejano Awards. Yes, and unfortunately they passed away in a tragic accident. He died, and also my 14-year-old daughter died, and she's right here. This is the two sisters. They are 21 years apart. Here is my teenager that passed away, and my parents are down here, and Diana, my daughter, and she played softball and soccer, and what's that? Volleyball with her aunt. And then my daughter, my oldest daughter, she passed away from ovarian cancer, and that's why she's in the ofrenda. And here's Diana with her dad, and this is this is the girls in the family, and yeah, she passed away in 2017. She had two. At the time, she had 3 grandchildren and 1 grandchild and 3 children, 3 girls. And this is why this is set up too. They died. She died of ovarian cancer, and my other daughter died of in the accident with her dad. So there's a lot of things on here. This elephant represents my mother. We all have elephants in the house because my mother loved elephants. My dad, he played baseball for the Cardinals, and he loves Cardinals. So this is to represent my father. This dove represents my daughter, Adriana, the little one that passed away 9 days before her quinceañera. And so we have a variety of things here. My husband loved the Virgen de Guadalupe, so we have that here. When we came to figure out what shirt he was going to wear to get buried in, and of course, my son said, Dad loved Virgen de Guadalupe, so he had his green silk Virgen de Guadalupe shirt. He got buried in that, and that's why this represents him. And let's see, is there anything? And Jaws, these little Jaws things right here. Jaws was a name that Lansing gave him because they would just slangishly, instead of saying Joe, they would just say Jaws, so that everybody started calling him Jaws. For a while there, all the Joes in Lansing were like, Jaws number 1 was Joe, my husband, and there was Jaws number 2 and Jaws number 3, up to about 7. All the Joes were then at that time called Jaws. Jaws in the number. So that and here you see that it says Joe Jaws Herrera on this one, but that's why these little Jaws that are on there, because that was his name given to him in Lansing, and he was born right here in Lansing, and they all were. Diana was born in Lansing, and Adriana was born in Lansing, and he was born in Lansing. Here's a quinceañera picture of Diana, but Adriana, she passed 9 days before quinceañera, so we didn't get a picture of her quinceañera, but she did get buried with her quinceañera dress and all the gifts that were from her godparents, were to be her godparents. So this is what it's about. This is brought back memories when I was just taking all those pictures out of the albums and putting them up. But yes, this is what this all represents, huh?
They'll never be forgotten.
No. Okay.
It's like Coco.
Yep. Okay. All right, then. Thank you, and
thank you.
Have a nice day.
This ofrenda is dedicated to my mom and her sisters. The last 5 sisters passed away this year, one in January and the most recent one in August. This is probably, I think, our 3rd or 4th year doing this. I kind of started the tradition, and then my sister joined me in later years. But we try to change it up every year. Just, it's mainly dedicated to my mom, but we add other things or other people. And it's kind of important for me because recently we were reunited with several siblings that were separated at a young age. And they weren't raised in the typical Mexican American home, so to me it's important, I think, for them to know and understand their roots. So yeah, this ofrenda this year is dedicated to my mom and her sisters.
And what were their names?
My mother's name was Magdalena, and we have Margarita, Eloisa, Luisa, and Susana.